We're breaking down the draft for all 32 teams right now. It's the Detroit Lions we're talking about. And Eric, in terms of the needs they had going into the draft, how would you say the Lions fared?
I think fans of the Detroit Lions know by this point that GM Martin Mayhew and Jim Schwartz, the head coach, stick to their board as closely as possible. They take the best player available or they trade out. And I think in this case, they probably didn't do a great job of addressing needs, but they got better as a football team. That's what's most important. So, for me, even though they addressed some need positions later in the draft, they didn't do a great job of it, but I still like what they did for them.
I think after the Matt Millen era where they questioned any of the talent that he actually brought in, I think that's a nice change for the Detroit Lions organization. What was your favorite pick they made?
It was probably their most controversial pick, and that's Ryan Broyles, a receiver out of Oklahoma. I watched him a lot in college. I think he's an outstanding player. Fun to watch with the ball in his hands, either as a punt returner or a receiver. Now, look, he may not play right away. He's coming off an ACL injury, so I think people will question the move, especially with all that depth at receiver. But once he gets healthy, Nate Burleson's getting a little older. You put those receivers out there with Titus Young, showed some flashes, Calvin Johnson, those tight ends. My goodness, who's going to be able to stop them? I think Broyles is an outstanding pick in time.
Yeah, even if he doesn't play the first half of the season or much the first season, if you get a great player in year two, people forget where they drafted him and that he was hurt when they took him. What was your least favorite pick?
I got to nitpick a little bit and say Riley Reef, the first-round choice. Yes, he was only the second offensive lineman taken off the board. They see him as a left tackle, though, and that's my problem with it. Short arms, I can only think of one guy, Michael Roos from the Titans, who really fits that same mold and is a quality left tackle. Handling those edge rushers might be a little too much for him. His future may end up being a guard or right tackle if he can't fit in there. So I thought the pick was okay. I just didn't love him as a left tackle at number 23.
Instead, they go by value, and when Reef kept slipping, I guess that was the time to take him. Overall, what kind of grade do you give the Lions?
I give him a C+, but it has the potential to get better, of course. Bill Bentley, the corner they got in round 3, may end up being a pretty good value pick. They got Broyles' teammate Ronell Lewis, a big, hard-hitting defensive end. Could replace Cliff Averill next year if they can't sign him to a long-term deal. Pretty good deal. I didn't love it, but I liked a lot of their picks.
Had 3 Oklahoma Sooners taken by the Lions this draft. Obviously did some scouting down in Norman, Oklahoma. That's a look at the Lions draft. You can check out profiles on all of these guys by subscribing to our YouTube page at youtube.com/profootballweekly.